Get a new project in Descript. I'm going to choose start writing. The slash is what they call a scene, and so there I'm going to drop video clips into this new project. So I'm going to start with the one I've labeled A. I've done these using Command-Shift-5 on my Mac, and when I drop them in, it begins transcribing them. Selecting a large lump of audio, I'm going to go and turn on Studio Sound, and it's going to tell me that it's applying Studio Sound to the whole file represented by this selection. Now we'll just play it with Studio Sound on and off. So here, let's turn it off and listen to it.
Well, for starters, a one argument lambda function is.
Now go back and we'll turn on Studio Sound.
Well, for starters, a one argument lambda function is like an atom in physics or chemistry.
I'm going to adjust this and change it to 80% intensity. Then we're going to play it.
For starters, a one argument lambda function is like an atom in physics or chemistry. This notation allows us to think about concatenating atoms together.
Okay, now I'm going to start
for starters, a one argument lambda function is like an atom in physics or chemistry.
Go to dynamics.
This notation allows us to think about concatenating atoms together to form bigger things like molecules.
And then I'm going to
Nothing is actually different, but the notation allows us to concentrate on one aspect of manipulating atoms. This notation makes it more convenient to write down sequences of concatenated atoms.
Now I'm going to fool around with the graphic equalizer. I'm going to play with the various frequencies and find the one that sounds the worst. The way to do this is to crank the frequency up really high. So let's start it playing.
Makes it more convenient to write down sequences of concatenated atoms. You can write this stuff in JavaScript, but the result looks like
that sounds pretty crummy
and makes it messy to think about. We could do all of this cranking using paper and pencil and humans to manipulate the paper and pencil and rubber. Or we can machine a bunch of little gears out of metal.
Reasonable.
Or we can use machines that we call computers that make this process a lot easier. Computers allow us to erase our work and try out new ideas at the touch of a button, which is a lot faster than getting someone to erase
that sounds
their
pretty
scribbles on
nasally
paper
and
or remachining new bits of metal. Of course, when a piece of code has been deconstructed down into little lambda function atoms, the code becomes difficult for humans to read. Machines don't care, but humans care. That's when we want to wrap syntax.
Though I know from experience that around 1.2 kilohertz is where it sounds the worst.
And label them
so I'll
higher
put a
level
cut
concepts.
here. So put minus
this grouping goes on ad infinitum.
20.
We eventually want to lasso lumps of higher level concepts and label them with even higher level concepts.
That sounds a lot better to me.
Lumps of for starters,
now we'll start adding other effects.
Is like an atom in.
So it's already sounding better to me.
This notation allows us to think about concatenating atoms.
A touch of reverb.
Bigger things like molecules.
There's way too much.
Actually different.
So I'll go back to like 20%.
Allows us to concentrate on one aspect of
and the room size, I like 20%.
This notation makes it more convenient to write down sequences of concatenated atoms.
I can't hear the echo,
stuff in JavaScript,
but I can tell there's something
like line noise.
better going on.
To think
I can turn it off.
If we deconstruct all the code,
if we turn it off,
if we deconstruct all
sounds
of
a bit dry.
Tiny lambda function atoms,
turn it back on.
Then we can use canned text editor rules.
It sounds a little bit nicer
through the atoms and create various kinds of molecules.